Welcome traders, hope everyone's well. Hope you're all doing good. So today's video we're going to cover prop firms. We're going to cover everything really about them, the why, the what, the where and the how. Okay? And we've got something a little bit interesting coming up for you. So stay tuned for that. It's later on in the slides. So we're going to be covering the prop firms to use, the best bang for your buck if you're an order flow trader, differences with each firm, and a general proposal for the community, as well as a word of caution at the end. Okay. So there's a host of different prop firms that are currently available in the market. You guys are probably aware of a lot of them. I'm just going to mention the three main ones that I've had experience with, and I think that are probably put you in the right stead in the market. Okay, so first things first, we have the sort of grandfather of prop firms, which is TopStep, the longest standing in the industry, the most reliable and consistent, probably with the best and most relaxed payout rules. Okay, now we're going to get into some of the downsides to these in later slides. And then we have Apex. Of course, Apex has its ups and downs. They have the lowest fees to get involved with prop firms, and they always have discounts. Then we have the new kids in the block. They have fast track trading, which is instant funding. So you have no evaluation and you pay zero commissions. Now we're going to cover the zero commissions part because I really would not be doing this and even bringing this to you or having this on this deck if it wasn't for the zero commissions. Okay. Now, there's a host of different little mini rules within all these prop firms, but we're going to look at the 50k account comparison. If you want to go for a higher one, then that's up to yourself, or a lower one. It just really depends on what you're after. So top step in essence is a 2.5k drawdown with a 3k target to pass. The end of day drawdown is their method. This is an evaluation and they just use standard rhythmic connections. Now, I'm assuming everyone in this channel is trading order flow and they're probably using some form of rhythmic connection either into Sierra, Quant Tower, Bookmap, or Jigsaw. Pretty much. I don't think you guys are going to be going down the trader of each side to execute your positions. Okay. Now they have a continual deal that they run at the moment that's 49 bucks, and then once you pass, it's 149 for the activation fee. It's always the way it has been with Top Step. It's pretty consistent. They have a scaling plan, which in essence means you have to hit X amount of money once you're in a funded account before you can actually move up to the next contract amount. So just something to bear in mind. Then Apex, same target to pass and drawdown. The only kicker that they have is the intraday drawdown method, which basically means you need to consistently take your profits and run on a trade. You cannot be holding for longer trades, simply as you get penalized if it pulls back to your break-even point. And again, they use standard rhythmic connections. Now, they are by far the cheapest in the market in order to actually start getting involved in firms. With the discounts and stuff involved, you're probably looking at probably 33 bucks and an 85 buck activation fee once you're up and running with them. Okay, so they're a little bit cheaper, but really, for the extra 50 bucks you're spending or so, you need to think about the profitability that's there and the long-term scalability you can have with these accounts. Okay, and then we have fast track trading, where they have a 2.5k drawdown, a 2.5k target, and then you can in essence request a payout. Now the difference with these guys is, of course, it's end of day drawdown as well, but there is no evaluation stage. Okay, so if you make the 2.5k target with them, then you can straight up request a payout from there as a you don't need to build a buffer at all. And the zero commissions are there, which really, if you're scalping, and your win rate is above 50%, you've then got the problem where commissions tend to be an issue. So with fast track, that's not a problem, and we'll dive into that in the next slide. Now they're a little bit more expensive for obvious reasons. I've included a 30% discount in here for the 50k. These guys don't have a scaling plan. They have micros and many conversion there done properly. Something we've not actually noted is TopStep unless it's TopStep X. Um, there is no micro conversion in there. A contract is a contract, regardless of being a mini or a micro, right? So with Fast Track, a little bit more expensive, but they do run discounts. All of these firms run discounts all the time. It's just up to yourself to decide um, where you think your edge is and what's the best value for money when it comes to it, right? Now, why am I harping on here about commissions and why are they so important? Okay, so I've taken the standard rhythmic commissions here for ES and micro ES, and also for our bond peeps. And I also trade bonds and treasuries, so I've put that across at the right hand side here. So for ES, a standard round turn on ES with rhythmic with pretty much any other prop firm is $4.60 per round turn, and in a micro is 148 per round turn. Okay. Now, when you go into treasuries, it's a lot more favourable. But if we take the 30-year, it's $3.56 per round turn, and then the 10-year is $3.20 for a round turn. That's the ZN. Okay. Now, when you factor this into a month, okay, and say you're trading ES and you're scalping around, you're maybe going for something like 4 to 8 ticks or 12, whatever it may be. You know, and you're slinging a number of contracts or taking lots of stabs a day, number of scratches, whatever your strategy may be, right? But across the month, you're probably going to do something like 10 trades a day, give or take, some more, some less. But you'll probably do something along the lines of 200 round turns a month, okay? And we're not talking about sides here, we're talking about in and out, which classifies a round turn. So if we take the 200 round turns a month and we times that by the round turn cost on ES, which is 460, that equates to $920 a month. This is on one contract. Okay. Now, if you multiply that by, say, your copy trading accounts, you're going to be saving thousands and thousands of dollars or pounds a month just by not paying commissions, you know, because commissions for a retail trader is literally a lot of the time why they're break even, because they're much, much higher. So to put this into perspective for you, right, if owning a seat and actually putting in tons of volume, I can't speak for owning a seat for the full SME, but I can speak on it what the fees will look like for owning one with the Chicago Board of Trade. Typically, you're going to be 50 cents a round turn for the 30 year, right? And that's slinging tons of contracts and actually owning a seat. So 50 cents a round turn, and then with fast track, it's then free. So you can see how much of an advantage that is. You know, you can continually take scratches and you'll need to make, 4 or 5 ticks a day in treasuries in order for this to be profitable. Okay, so it gives you a much more bang for your buck, specifically for scalping. Obviously, if you're taking a piece of the trend and you're holding a day position, none of this means anything because you're not taking 10 trades a day or whatever. You'll be lucky if you're taking one or two. The lower trade frequency you have, then the less important commissions are. Okay, but in this channel, we tend to all trade auto flow, and we tend to be really in the now and be able to then take a position and gain that 2 to 3 ticks pretty consistently. Okay, and this is where commissions are extremely important, right? Now, I've thought long and hard about this, okay, because I never wanted this channel to turn into a shill for prop firms, right? But I think we need to do something slightly differently. Rather than um, simply giving affiliate links out for people to use that go straight into my pocket, for example, right, to help grow the channel, I propose that we essentially use affiliate links, okay, but then we will look to put 50% back into the community, and that will run on a monthly schedule, okay? So we'll be tracking this with rhythmic usernames from the prop firms, okay, and then we'll look to run this in a monthly schedule. We need to look at in terms of the frequency of which the payments are settled, and then when we can actually carry this disbursement out to the community, but most likely from settlement it will be probably 14 days in arrears from there. Okay, just something to bear in mind. And I think this would definitely help the channel. As if I'm completely honest with you, last month for the amount of live streaming and stuff that I do, YouTube revenue was £30, right? So it's if it wasn't, I did this to build a community, and and it's grown arms and legs. We've got over 600 people now in the Discord, and everyone's bouncing off each other, which is fantastic. But in order for this to really grow, in order for us to try and take it to these prop firms, I think when people are spending money, they should be getting a little bit back. So that's where the money that is generated for the Mr. Order Flow community, I propose that the money of that is pumped back in, ultimately either in free accounts or for what you guys want to do with your own funds, to be perfectly honest with you. And I think that's the best way to do it. Okay. So, and if you guys have got any other prop firms that you want, the two main ones that we're going to be affiliate linking here will be Apex and Fast Track Trading. But if you guys have got any others that you think would benefit, and ultimately, regardless of which firms are used, we're still going to be putting 50% back into the community, and we're going to be very transparent with these numbers. Okay. So there'll be pinned links in the description and in the pinned comments for this. So we'd appreciate, not just myself, but the community in general, would appreciate if you guys are looking to go down the prop firm route or looking to scale these accounts. If you can, then use these links, because ultimately it helps support the community. Okay. Now, a word of caution here, right? If you cannot pass one account, you're not buying 10. Okay. Don't be a knob. So you need to have at least had some sort of track history here, or you're just, dipping your toes in it with one account to see if you've got an edge, right? But if you can't trade, there's no point getting in and buying 10, 20 accounts. You need to work on yourself first. This is a journey. It takes a long time. And another thing as well, these prop firms are extremely flaky, right? I mean, one week to the next, the perception of the trading community changes on each firm. One week everyone dislikes Apex, then the next week they dislike Fast Track, so on and so forth, right? So as a general rule of thumb, as soon as you get money that's available to be withdrawn, take it every time. Okay? Because you don't know what's going to happen with these firms. They could literally be bust tomorrow. They could disappear. Just because they've got tons of money flowing into them doesn't mean they're just a limited company, and every business fails within the first couple of years anyway. You know, Not every business, but majority of businesses that are self-funded fail within the first couple of years. That's just the way the world works, sadly. Okay. Now you need to decide yourself: are you going to copy trade, or are you going to spread your exposure, suit this to what your style is and how you are as a person. Okay. And what I mean by that is, do you want to have maybe three accounts, and then execute different strategies on each, or different trade windows, or whatever the case may be, right? You need to factor that in. Okay. And this is extremely important. Okay. Keep the risk small. Okay. Literally, this is the be all and end all. You should not be blowing these accounts. Okay. People fail these accounts because they forget that tomorrow's another day, right? Literally, it's like I have to get back to break even, or whatever the case may be. Okay. If you've got a 2.5k drawdown, you should not be risking more than $200 a day. Okay, you should be giving yourself 10 days, a crack at the cherry, to consistently return funds. Okay, you should never be going bust. This is going to teach you real discipline and help you scale over the coming months. Okay. Now the fact you see people making 3k in like 10 days or whatever, then happy days for them. But it's not the right that's not the right way to be doing it. This is a long-term play you should be doing here, because if you're just going Hail Mary and all in on these prop firms, right, you'd be better just putting your money into a personal account and managing the risk. Okay. So you need to decide if all of this is for you. And very typically this goes into, you need to treat this like a business. In a business, you forecast, months and quarters ahead, okay, for what your turnover is going to be, what's your GP going to be, what's your net like, how can you adjust things and ultimately improve your bottom line, okay? And when you start thinking like that, one trading day is meaningless in the grand scheme of things, okay? And very typically, people get the blinders on and they nuke an account in one day, when realistically, if you just took a managed loss, in 2 months' time, that one day is forgotten about. It's just a dot on your stats and on your data, right? So try not to get so focused on the one day. Okay, think about it. It's a long-term play. Okay. Another thing is as well, just don't be a potato. Don't be an idiot. Stay focused. Every trade matters, and you need to always be on the ball. Okay, if you're not feeling 100%, don't trade. Okay. So this one is relatively short and sweet, guys. I hope you appreciate it, and I would really appreciate myself if you guys can hit the like and subscribe button, and if you can, and you're looking to purchase prop firms, if you can use the links in the description below. Okay. Thanks everyone. You guys have a great rest of your weekend and take care. Peace.